My video for September the 30th, 2018 is video number 2861, and the title is I Do Dare Call It Treason, and Betrayal, too. In 1964, when Barry Goldwater ran against Lyndon Johnson, a man named John A. Stormer self-published a book called None Dare Call It Treason. The book sold 7 million copies, but history shows that Johnson crushed Goldwater in the election anyway. I read this book when I was still a teenager. To me, it's much more than political treason we face as a human society. It's the preeminent crime against all humanity. It has far more than mere political implications. Will humanity survive? This is not just a political question. It depends on the success or failure of our awakening on a planet of lies where so much has been inverted, turned inside out and upside down. Yes, I've been an activist on both the political and religious fronts virtually all my life. And yes, they are the topics we are told to ignore. The issues in these areas are critical to our freedom. It's not only treason, it's betrayal as well. Who is the betrayer? We can blame ourselves, but that's not the whole truth as I see it. The buck must stop at a much higher level than humanity. It pains me, truly pains me, to keep blaming God. But isn't God the one with all power and all knowledge? If this world is God's will, then God must be heartless and not loving as we were taught. Who betrayed whom? Quite honestly, I was hoping to make a video with a friend that I haven't made a video with in some time, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting a response back. And so I am going ahead here in the late afternoon recording this video because I didn't hear from my friend. Anyway, folks, this is a subject and a topic that I've wrestled with now for a long time. As I said in the blurb, I have been a spiritual or religious activist and a political activist. As I've said in numerous videos, I'm sure, I was the Secretary of State of the attempt to reestablish the Republic of Florida as one of many republics in the Republic of the United States. The Republic ceased to exist virtually at the time of the Civil War. That's when Lincoln, our first attorney president, became president, number 16. It's been a long time since then. Over 150 years, right? And yet, the correction has never happened, and peace was never declared after the Civil War. So since the Civil War, the United States of America has been at war. Who's the enemy? The enemy is the people who want freedom. The enemy is the people who insist that we must tell the truth. We are the problem, according to the establishment. We are the ones that are held responsible for all the crimes that they, the establishment, commit. Yes, we've had a lot revealed to us that would never have become known had it not been for the internet. Certainly the mainstream media doesn't tell us the secrets and the things that are hidden in dark places in our culture. They don't tell us of the Bohemian Grove and all the things that go on clandestinely by the so-called elite establishment. Who's responsible for this charade, this cover-up? of the things that are most important to us, who's responsible? I don't like to point the finger at the God that I was taught is love. But it's not loving what I see going on in the world. I watched the entire speech of the man, I didn't write down his name and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but he was a Jesuit graduate, but he's Trump's appointment to the Supreme Court. And of course, he's facing tremendous opposition and slander for things that I believe him never happened. Never happened. It's all made up. It's all propaganda of the Democratic Party. Now, I'm not a proponent of the Republican Party either, don't get me wrong. Both parties have been complicit in the selling of human rights to a global elitist, demonic entity, corporate entity, corporate meaning dead body. That's what corpse is, a dead body. And the corporate entity has always been the problem. Always. When are we going to see that? When are we going to wake up? It's been a betrayal from the highest level of creation that most of us refer to as God. But of course, the Bible, and how did I miss this? Says, in the beginning, God, Elohim, plural. In the beginning, the gods created heaven and earth. What does that mean? What does that mean? And God said, let us, plural, us, make man in our image. In the image of God created he them, male and female created he them. You know, we were created by a fallen angel, a false God. Well, whose responsibility is that? To allow an angel to not only fall, that's one thing, that's free will, but to take over a whole planet, and who knows how many other planets might also be involved? I don't know the answer to that. I don't believe Earth is the only inhabited planet. And some would say Earth isn't even a planet. Some say it's a flat surface with mountains and stuff like that, of course, but basically flat. That's a new false religion to get us diverted from the truth that we're supposed to love one another, that we're supposed to build bridges and not walls. I try to expose the walls. I try to expose the lies. I try my best to play whatever role I can play, spiritually and politically, to bring about change that will uplift humanity to a higher level so that we can ultimately be free at last. It's not going to happen in a culture of lies. It's not going to happen in a system run by demons or demonically inspired humans. It just isn't going to happen. I'd like to see real change. Not something to believe in, not something to hope for, not something to think it's going to happen in some sweet by and by. I don't want to die to get there. I want to live to transform here, not there. When will something or someone empower people like me who does not intend to build walls, does not intend to fractionalize humanity, but to seriously look for ways to bring humanity together so that we can harmoniously bring about the positive changes necessary to transform human existence. Isn't that worth striving for? That's what I strive for, and I hope you do too. Thanks for listening. Namaste.